What is up guys, welcome to another episode of BroccoLedge. This is Broccoli. In each video, I'm gonna share some knowledge with you. It will be light but informative. I hope you will find it fun and meaningful. In the last video, we talked about one type of process of learning, classical conditioning. USSR physiologist Pavlov and his dogs. Today, we're gonna talk about another type of process of learning that is as well known as classical conditioning, called operant conditioning. Before we get into what exactly operant conditioning is, there are two figures that we need to know, Edward L. Thorndike and B.F. Skinner. Thorndike is a famous American psychologist also known as the father of educational psychology. He believed that adaptive changes in animal behaviors can also be applied to human behavioral learning. Thorndike exerted his study on learning through experiments in animals. Usually, cats were the animal he would utilize in his experiments. Thorndike would put a cat in a puzzle box and use fish as a reward to entice the cat to figure out how to escape from the box through a series of maneuvers. The cat's performance tended to be improving with successive trials. He then suggested that the two laws he floated in his doctoral dissertation that is published in 1911, Animal Intelligence, the law of effect and the law of exercise, would predict behavioral associations and connections. The law of effect states that behaviors followed by favorable consequences will become more likely to occur again, and the behaviors followed by unfavorable consequences will become less likely to occur again. In short, rewarded behavior tend to occur. On the contrary, punished behavior would be less likely to recur. And the law of exercise states that behavior is more strongly established through frequent connection of stimulus and response. However, in 1932, Thorndike determined that this law would not work in all cases, which led to the conclusion that the law of exercise was not always valid. Albeit one of the two laws proved was invalid, as a pioneer to study learning by consequences, Thorndike's ideas paved the path for future psychology in both operant conditioning within behaviorism and educational psychology. Later on, the law of effect was elaborated by Skinner's work. B.F. Skinner is an American psychologist and behaviorist. For his groundbreaking studies, Skinner designed an operant chamber, which is also widely known as the Skinner box. The chamber is a closed area that contains a bar that a mouse can operate with to obtain food or water as reinforcers. While the mouse is doing whatever he's doing, the attached devices will record the animal's rate of bar pressing. Skinner tried to tease out certain actions from a mouse with shaping. In operant conditioning, shaping means that reinforcers guide the object to be closer to present a desired behavior. Reinforcers are divided into two groups, primary reinforcer and conditioned reinforcer or secondary reinforcer. It is not difficult to understand that a primary reinforcer is an innate stimulus that fulfills biological needs, and conditioned reinforcer is non-biological and it needs to associate with a primary reinforcer to gain its power. The process of presenting reinforcers to strengthen certain behaviors is called reinforcement. There we have two types of reinforcement, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Both types are used to boost the reoccurrence of a behavior, and here come the examples. Finally, I finished my work this week. It's time to play some Dead by Daylight. Life is strange. I play video games as reward after I finish my weekly 6-page paper for my theology summer class and my scripts for the new videos in both English and Chinese. So, playing games is my reinforcer that keeps me on track on getting my work done. Since it is not a physiological need, it is therefore a conditioned reinforcer or secondary reinforcer. Actually, your likes to this video is also gonna be a conditioned reinforcer, so what are you waiting for? And I understand that not everyone plays video games, so I prepared another example that I believe everyone can relate to. Mom, want a slice of pizza? I'm hungry. What do you say? Could you hand a slice of pizza to me, please? Positive reinforcement is always used as teaching children to be courteous. And since the pizza is satisfying the kid's physiological need, it is considered as a primary reinforcer. So then the next time when the kid is hungry and wants to get some food from other people, he would try to use these cordial words because if you're being polite, then you get what you want. Then you will tend to remain the good deeds in the future because you want to get what you want, until you just be nice in general. Because that's the goal of asking the kid, what do you say? Hey, do you know what SWF is? I know exactly what it is, but... Can I have allowance, please? No, it's not happening. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. You're gonna start whining, and it's gonna turn into weeping, and it's gonna turn into crying, and it's gonna turn into sobbing. Right, enough. Here's the one this week. In this case, the father is negatively reinforced, since the father was finally crossed up at the kid's reaction and his behavior of handing out the money in an aversive event. Next time, he might just give the money to avoid the kid whining in such an awkward way, even before the kid gets into it. We have ways to boost behaviors. Of course, we also have ways to stymie behaviors, punishment, which is also separated into two kinds, positive punishment and negative punishment. Since we have just mentioned the two forms of reinforcement, think of the term reinforcement as whatever that boosts a behavior, and punishment as whatever that hinders a behavior from happening. Positive as adding something and negative as withdrawing something. Then positive punishment means getting an aversive stimulus to stop an unwanted behavior, and negative punishment means removing a satisfying stimulus to weaken or stop an unwanted behavior. All of these together is called operant conditioning, which is a type of learning in which a reinforcer may make a behavior more likely to recur and a punishment may make a behavior less likely to recur. Before the end of this video, I would like to share an urge that please do not apply physical punishment on children. Around the world, 80% of the children are spanked or otherwise physically punished by their parents. One analysis over 160,000 children found that physical punishment rarely corrected unwanted behavior. Instead, it will only make the situation worse. Unwanted behavior is only temporarily suppressed by physical punishment but not forgotten. And physical punishment would teach discrimination and bring fear to children. Or even worse, physical punishment may build up violence among children as a way to cope with problems and other people. We have mentioned shaping, positive and negative reinforcement and punishment. If you ever run into someone that hit their children, try to let them know that there are tons of better ways to help their children to learn how to behave other than spanking them. Alright, that'll wrap up today's video. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up if you like it and ring the bell if you love it. I'll see you in the next video.